How to upgrade to release 12.2.3 of Oracle eBusiness Suite with an emphasis on the process of upgrading from release 12.2.2 to the latest 12.2.3. Now, for the benefit of people who are new to the upgrade process, I have drawn this particular diagram which shows the upgrade path right from 11i until the latest release 12.2.3. So as you can see from the leftmost corner, if you are on release 11i, then you've got to first upgrade to release 12.2.0 and then upgrade to 12.2.3. Likewise, if you are either on release 12.0.x or 12.1.x, then you've got to first upgrade to release 12.2.0 and then 12.2.3. But if you are already on release 12.2.0, which is a recently released version, then you can directly jump on and upgrade to release 12.2.3. In the same way, if you are on 12.2.2, then you can again directly jump on release 12.2.3. As far as this particular movie is concerned, let's understand the process of upgrading from release 12.2.2 to release 12.2.3. Now, before we start understanding the steps which are involved in upgrading from 12.2.2 to 12.2.3, I would like to quickly show you the user interface of 12.2.3, which will also help you to understand that we have indeed upgraded to 12.2.3, and the steps that I am going to show you are definitely going to prove successful if you're going to follow this path. So I'm going to minimize this one now, and first thing I will do is I will take you to the user interface of 12.2.2. So when you first come to the login screen of 12.2.2, it looks like this, like in blue in color. Looks pretty good, is it not? But when you go to 12.2.3, the user interface changes slightly, as you would see over here. So you can see that from the background itself, the user interface is kind of looks very airy and very light, and to be honest with you, I'm excited that it looks quite different from the release 12i version of eBusiness Suite, which we have been on until 12.2.2. So let's log into this to go and understand a little bit more on the user interface before we come back to understand the steps of upgrading from 12.2.2 to 12.2.3. So I'll go back to Firefox and I'm going to close this particular session. So I will open a new window and I will close this one, and here I have just started the home page for 12.2.3, and I will log in as the user, say operations, and password as welcome, and hit the login button. For the first time when it loads, it's a little bit slow, but then it caches it into the memory of the server, and next time when you come and log in, it's considerably faster. Anyways, now as you could see, the UI is slightly different right from the top menu to the left and right pages. And what I'm going to do is I will launch the JRE over here by looking for a particular form. So I will simply go to any form over here. Let's say I will launch a form using that function of program, and it's gonna open the JRE, which will launch Oracle application forms. Now as you could see, the user interface is pretty much the same as release 12.2.2 with the exception of the buttons. You could see a slight look and feel change over here. Now in terms of the detailed user interface, I'm going to produce a separate movie. So let's park the UI aspect for the moment, and what I really wanted to show you was the actual release upgrade that we have done. So we are indeed on 12.2.3, as you could see over here. That being said, now let's go back to our presentation to understand a little bit more of the upgrade steps. Now in terms of the upgrade, what you've got to do is you've got to first start upgrading your database tier. Now Oracle has provided a tool which is called as database checker analyzer tool, which when you will run on your release 12.2.2 instance, it's gonna pop out all the patch information that you've got to apply prior to upgrading to release 12.2.3. So the first step is you must download the database checker analyzer from patch 175371119, and you should run it on your database to get all the missing database patches that you've got to apply. So once you have got all that information, then you apply those patches. Once you have applied that, then you should also upgrade your start CD version from 12.2.0.46 to 12.2.0.47. So in our case, when we have installed release 12.2.2, it was on the start CD 12.2.0.46. Now, in order for you to upgrade to the release 47 of the start CD, you've got to apply a number of database tier patches and application tier patches before you start the upgrade process. So Oracle has listed them out, those patches, in this particular node 1594274.1. So specifically, you got to download all these patches and you've got to apply them. So I have listed them, these patches over here, and then the patches that were recommended by database patch checker tool are also listed over here. So I could apply these patches, but there were some patches which were recommended by this database patch checker tool, but they were made specifically for Exadata, so that I could not apply on Linux x86 64 based database. So I had to kind of skip these particular patches. Likewise, there were one more patch which was recommended by database patch checker tool, which was this particular patch, but I could not find in Oracle support website. But at this stage, I would highly recommend you to also go through this particular note from Oracle support website to get you the precise list of upgrading your start CD version from 12.2.0.46 to 47. So moving ahead, that would constitute your database tier upgrade. Now the next step you've got to do it is to upgrade your application tier to the same start CD version of 12.2.0.47, which includes a number of patches on your application tier itself, a number of patches on your web tier, then a number of patches on WebLogic and Fusion middleware. Alright, so all of them I have listed them down over here. Again, the list of these patches are very precisely given in this particular document ID 1594274.1. So you should consider referring to that. But the success of our upgrade has been out of these particular patches. For application tier, for web tier, this particular patch was applied, and then for Oracle Fusion middleware, this particular patch was applied, but we had an issue in applying this patch since it could not accept the GRE and JDK paths, which to me it looks like a particular bug, but it wasn't a problem and we could manage to upgrade to release 12.2.3. Then you've got Oracle WebLogic server patches, and although this particular note recommends these 3 patches for WebLogic server, but while applying these patches there were a number of conflicts and dependencies in terms of these patches, and I had to download other patches and to remove the existing WebLogic server patches. And to do all that, I have to basically run the WebLogic Smart Update installer to remove the existing patches and then to apply these particular patches and the associated dependent patches. Once that's been done, then the next step you've got to do is to apply a consolidated seed table upgrade patch. If you're upgrading from release 12.2.0 to 12.2.3, then you must apply this particular patch. But in our case, we had already applied this patch while upgrading to release 12.2.2, so we could safely skip this particular patch. Then we have directly jumped on to applying the release 12.2.3 AD and TXK release update packs. So in this case, again, it depends from which release you are upgrading from to release 12.2.3. If you are upgrading from 12.2.0, then you've got to apply this particular patch. But if you are upgrading from 12.2.2 to 12.2.3, then you have to apply a different patch, and the details of that have been given in this particular note. Then once you have completed applying the release 12.2.3 AD&TXK release update pack, then the next step is to apply the 12.2.3 suite-wide release update pack, which includes two patches. The first one is, of course, the suite-wide release update pack, and the next one is associated online documentation for 12.2.3. And this is what we have done to completely upgrade to 12.2.3. Now, if you would like to refer to the notes of what we have done, the references associated with this upgrade, then you can simply go to our website, which is www.social.aclnz.com. So let's go to that particular website. Simply type in your URL social.aclnz.com, and then you can simply navigate to blogs, and this is where I have placed all the documentation in relation to the upgrade of 12.2.2 to 12.2.3 in precisely 10 steps. So you can follow this documentation to understand the patches you've got to apply, and to both database tier and application tier, and the post upgrade task that you've got to finish after doing, and the references that you've got to look within Oracle support website have also been noted over here. If you are upgrading for a previous release, say from release 12.2.0 to 12.2.3, then you should also consider looking at my blog on our main blog website, which is on aclnz.com/blogs, and that's where you will see the details of our release 12.2.2 upgrade from release 12.2.0.